Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Welcome to another edition of Wild Eye Wednesday. Now, today I'm going to be taking a look at the movie Rust. But before I get into my review, I wanted to take the time to thank Wild Eye for sending me this copy to review for you guys. They have an awesome company, and they are definitely where it's at with independent horror. I'm going to put their links down in the description box below for their YouTube channel and their official website. Go check them out. They have an awesome catalog. Now, Rust is a 2014 and a 2015 movie, and I'll explain that later, because I really can't get into the runtime until I actually explain the runtime. But it is written and directed by Joe Lujan. He is responsible for The Immortal Wars, It Followed Me, which I think is a really cool title, The Traveling, and Atelophobia 1 and 2. Now this stars Corey Taylor as Heather and Taylor Kilgore as Morgan. They were both in The Immortal Wars and Atelophobia 1 and 2. And finally, it stars Martin Greenwood as Travis McLennan. Now, he was in Rust 1 and 2, of course, and To Topple an Empire. Now, I'm going to get into the brief synopsis, and then I'll get into the reason why the runtime is a bit confusing. Heather and Morgan are two friends who are meeting a couple of boys at an abandoned, kind of like a haunted hotel, which basically looks like a plywood shack out in the middle of the desert. But apparently it's a real haunt. This movie is actually based on a true story, apparently. Not sure how, but basically 20 years ago, a guy named Travis McLennan went crazy, killed his parents, set them up inside of the haunt, and started dismembering customers and using their body parts to scare other people who came in the haunt. So it was shut down. So Heather and Morgan, like I said, are meeting two boys there, and they end up getting captured and tortured, and finally one of them gets away. Heather gets away, I believe it's Heather. So one of the boys ended up not showing up. The other one was dead. He talks Heather into going back, along with police officers, to try to rescue Morgan. And that's basically where I'm going to have to leave it. That's kind of the movie in a nutshell. Now, I'm going to explain the runtime. Apparently, this edition right here is Rust 1 and 2. They made an original short, which is called Rust, of course, and it was, I believe it's like 36 minutes. And then they made another movie called Rust 2, which was an hour and 7 minutes. So what Wild Eye did, or what the director did, I'm not really sure who did what, but they actually combined the movies together to make one movie that is like an hour and 43 minutes. And to be honest with you, it kind of works. The first part is Rust, which was made in 2014, and it is basically the part of Heather and her friend Morgan going to this haunted attraction and getting captured and tortured, and of course Heather gets away. And that's where that one ends. Rust 2 is where she goes back with the girl's, I guess, significant other and the police officers in order to rescue her. But like I said, they pretty much blended it perfectly together. Was very impressed when I finally figured out what was going on, because on the back of the DVD, it says it's an hour and 7 minutes long. I'm like, okay. And that's basically all it says. So I go to start the film, and it says an hour and 43 minutes. I'm like, wait a minute. It said an hour and 7 minutes on the back of the DVD. So I go into the special features, and it says Rust 1 and Rust 2. And I wasn't really sure what that meant, so I watched the hour and 43 minute movie, and then I went into the special features and found out that this is just a combination of Rust and Rust 2. So if that explains it, kind of the way they did it. They should have explained it a little bit better on the back of the DVD, but it's not a bad movie. Some of it jumps around kind of like it's shot on a phone, or like the tablet that I have. But all in all, the acting was pretty decent. The gore was pretty much on point. And the story, even though it's not something that's groundbreaking, it's something I've seen a million times, it's really quite good for a slasher. So, unfortunately, I'm only going to be able to recommend this movie to slasher enthusiasts because I think they'll get the most enjoyment out of it. People who aren't really fond of slashers, I don't know if this would do it for you. So, but again, thank you to Wild Eye for sending me this copy. Definitely check them out. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.